really trying to figure out, why aren't you dead yet? They're trying to figure out, how could you go through all that you went through and still be in your right mind? They're trying to figure out, how can you go through hell and still have hope? They're trying to figure out, how can you be molested at 10 years old, but your life still has meaning at 50 years old? They're trying to figure out, how can you be strung out on drugs as long as you were, but you still can accomplish your dreams? They're trying to figure out, how can you be abused but still be used by God? Y'all ain't helping me. Y'all ain't hearing me. How can you be abused but still be used?
Yes, sir.
You still have your right mind.
Come on.
Still have a rewarding marriage. Still have a strong momentum. And still have a sustained motivation. Not to be bit by the stuff you've been bit with all throughout your life. They're trying to figure out, I'll tell you, they're conflicted, they can't sleep, they're trying to figure it out. Why aren't you dead yet? Why aren't you dead yet? They can't believe that you can experience what you've experienced in life and survive. And that's the same way it was for Paul in the text. Paul was surrounded by a host of folk who the text says expected for him to die. It's right here in the text. They expected for him to die. They were standing there watching and waiting for Paul to fall dead. You see, the natives of this island knew how poisonous the vipers on this island were. And they also knew that if someone was bitten by one of those vipers, the result would be instant death. They had never seen anyone survive being bit by one of these vipers, and they were sure that Paul would not survive either. They kept watching and waiting and watching and waiting and watching and waiting, and after a while I can imagine that somebody began to say, this is an abnormal occurrence. This is an absurd outcome. This is an awkward, mind-blowing phenomenon. Why isn't he dead yet? What's keeping him alive? How is he still functioning? How is he still carrying on? How is he still standing? And there's some folk who are looking at you and looking at me, and they're wondering, why aren't you dead yet? But not only are the folk looking at you and wondering, why aren't you dead yet? But when you look at your own life, and when you look back at all the hell and the high water you've been through, when you look back at all the stuff that came at you and attacked you and tormented you and harassed you and assaulted you, you sometimes get in the mirror and ask yourself, why aren't you dead yet? Why haven't you committed suicide yet? Why haven't you quit yet? Why haven't you walked out yet? Why haven't you killed somebody yet? Why haven't you given up on life yet? Why haven't you fallen apart yet?
Yes, Lord.
Paul rushes to the aid of all